All right. Hello, everyone. This is Ari in the air. Welcome back to the channel. Stoked you're here today. I've been thinking about something, and I've noticed how this deep philosophical principle applies to the best paraglide pilots in the world. And so I wanted to give you a little rundown on how this one characteristic differentiates good pilots from bad pilots. Here we go.
Climbing right on the border of Idaho and Oregon, the Owyhee River out there. Woo! 265K! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Okay, so let's start completely and totally zoomed out and say that the universe has been evolving for billions of years. The universe used to be just matter, right? It was just rocks floating. And then it has coalesced into increasing levels of complexity. Matter has complexified into life, single-celled organisms, and then all the way to where we are now. Life, at some point, transcended into mind, sentient beings that could feel things. Sentient, sense. Literally, evolution has increased in its ability to make sense of its environment. And on the spectrum of this, you have mollusks. These are shellfish at the bottom of the ocean that are dinosaurs. Literally, they are so insensitive to their environment that even the giant apocalypse that killed the dinosaurs, mollusks didn't even notice. They were so hardened to their environment that even under huge changes in the atmosphere and the acidification of the oceans, they didn't even change. It didn't affect them at all. On the other end of the spectrum, you have human beings, which are the most sensitive creatures that the universe knows. This is to say that we have senses. We have senses of sight, smell, touch, taste, proprioception, and all of this stuff together makes us incredibly responsive to our environment. How does this relate to paraglide pilots? Well, on the biggest, most booming days, even the students will get sucked up to cloud base, right? But on the days that the air is much more subtle, then it takes experts to feel into bubble, to connect it to a bubble, to connect it to a bubble, to scratch it to a climb that makes to cloud base. And this is historically not been a huge strong suit of mine. I think that strong conditions are where I excel, and weak conditions, very light conditions, is where I notice that the best pilots are shown to be the best pilots. The ability to sense very subtle things in the atmosphere under a paraglider and put them together is what really makes the best the best. So in our modern world, we kind of, as men, we tend to have this thought that sensitivity is weakness and that being a sensitive person is akin to being a pussy. And in general, if you zoom out so that you can see the universe clearly, then you will see that complexity and sensitivity and evolution are literally the same thing. So as our universe has become more and more complex, the creatures have become more and more sensitive. And to increase in evolution is to increase in sensitivity. So I encourage you, if you want to be a good paraglide pilot and to have a good life, that you actually really need to increase your sensitivity. For you to fan the flames of your sensitivity, is so obvious, because if you could pay $1,000 to make your eyesight twice as good, that would be such an easy decision to make, right? Or if you could invest so that you could hear way, way better or think way clearer. These are all senses that if you could increase them, you totally would. And in doing so, your life would be better. The one thing that men tend to think that their sensitivity is not good is like our sensitivity for our emotional states, for our relationships, for our speech, for the subtle ways that arguing with your girlfriend is still upsetting you, or even like, for me personally, it's like the death of my dog 2 years ago is still with me. Like, and I notice that on certain days in my emotional texture and how frustrated or like how easily I am to irritate, these kinds of things. Sensitivity and evolution are the same thing. And if you want to be good at really anything, especially relationships in life, and especially paragliding, your sensitivity is your greatest asset. The highest level paraglide pilots in the world who can scratch out on days where most people will just say, it's not working. But if they were in a competition setting, you would see that out of 150 pilots, that there are a dozen or so who can climb out and work together and work a bubble to a bubble to a bubble to a light climb to a bubble and keep it going all day long. It's a pretty rare and unique skill, and it is incredible sensitivity to the air mass. So hope that's helpful. If you want to be a great man and a great pilot, sensitivity is your only way. If you want to be tough, you can be like a mollusk, dead at the bottom of the ocean, unchanging for your whole life. And if you want to be a conscious man who is using his awareness to guide evolution as the conduit of life that you are, well, what a beautiful invitation and a great opportunity. So hopefully this is helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.